Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and hope you're lucky enough to be doing it too on Bushka on Blitz. And today, I just want to have a chat. Just want to talk to you. Just want to take a nice, easy back seat and maybe have a little conversation between amigos. I've been putting out a truckload of content of late, and it's been really important content. I feel like it has anyway. I did a 4.2 complete patch breakdown where I went through and passed all the changes, both to the tanks and to the game itself that popped up in patch 4.2. I did a review of the T62A and the new gun and a new build for that. I did a T57 heavy chat. I did a whole walkthrough on the French light lines, the Tier 9, the Tier 10. We had the controversy with that. I've done the Tier 8, the Tier 7, the Tier 6, the Tier 5. I just finished that video today, although it's obviously not out yet. Or it might be out at the time. I'm not sure when I'm going to drop this video. And I've also done an E50 review. I did a full in-depth breakdown on the rating season, which is uploaded and waiting to drop. So I've been doing a lot of really serious content. And I've also changed a lot of the format on the channel. I've got 3 streams a week popping off. They're going at 5:30 p.m. East Coast time, West Coast time, NA, and 8:30 p.m. East Coast time, North American time. And what that's meaning is that there are some opportunities for you guys to take part in those streams for different reasons. On a Sunday, NA time, I've just started doing a tactics stream. A stream where people can ask about tactics and have questions about the tanks, and also just questions about me and the YouTube channel and what's going on, and there's a lot going on over the next wee while, so it's well worth asking those questions. And that's really important, because if you want to get to know where I'm at in terms of tanking, what I think about certain things and certain issues, that's where I'll be answering questions live. And we had about 200 people in there the other day. Had some great questions. I couldn't get through all of them, but that's why I've got my good mate JC Ware, who takes all the questions and tries to throw a few my way that are interesting. So if you want to talk to me directly about tactics and how I play the tanks and why I do certain things, then jump on there. You're also going to know that on a Thursday I do the clan streams. So that's all well and good. And on a Wednesday, I do count-ins with everyone on YouTube. So if you want to be involved, come along and bloody well get involved, because the channel's never been more interactive. Now, I want to speak to a few broader issues as well. There's a lot of tournament stuff coming up. And that means that the Twister Cup is upon us, and there's going to be a lot of esports stuff going on as well. So you should probably check out the streams that I've already got set up, the esports streams that I've got set up. I've got all 4 of the Twister Cup qualifiers for an A going to be live streamed here on channel. I've got all 4 of the Twister Cup qualifiers for Asia that are going to be live streamed here on channel. So if you want to watch really good tanking, watch them. Like, they are there to actually be enjoyed, and you're going to see the best players in the game playing as best they can. I'm also heading off to Las Vegas for a big event, the Amazon Mobile Masters on the 15th of October. So if you're in Vegas, drop in and see me and Snake Eyes. We'll be Snake Eyes and I. We will be sitting there talking rubbish about tanks. It's going to be great fun. I also want to talk about 2 things. I don't want to talk too much into the numbers, but I probably will. The French lines, the French light and the French TD line. We as a player base seem to just lose our minds about tanks being overpowered, but we then lose our minds about tanks being balanced. I do too. I think the French TDs are terrible, and I think the French lights, a lot of the stuff that goes on with the French lights is they're solid tanks, but they're not strong tanks, with a couple of notable exceptions. There's very, very little difference between any of the French lights. They are universally poor at bouncing shells. They have no armor profile. They all have more or less the same mobility, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10. The Tier 5 is most definitely different, and the Tier 4, the Duck, is obviously not a light tank, it's a medium. They have horrible gun depression and elevation numbers, as low as 6 degrees up, 6 degrees down. And they also don't have amazing firepower. They have good bursts, but certainly nothing that we haven't seen in the game before, and nothing that's, exposes them to unicoms who are just going to roll them in platoon all the time and say these are the best ever. And it's one of the reasons why I think it so desperately needs the on-the-move camo at tier 9 and 10, which it didn't have, and which Wargaming, kudos to them, have decided to give the tanks, which is all well and good. But are you telling me they're not a balanced line? I mean, they're light tanks, but the problem they face is that so many of the other light tanks that we've come across are just ridiculously good. The Type 62 Dragon, just give me some more damage per minute at 250 heat pen and, mobility and speed, and it makes money. It's like, it's incredible. The LTTB, the armor profile of that tank being on a tier 7 light tank, at the same time as the French light just gets penned by everything. And the T-54 lightweight, I mean, the T-54 lightweight, I'm going to show you a game of the lightweight in the tick. And it's the reason why the poor old French light tanks get judged so poorly, is because the guys that came before got away with blue murder. Like hat tip for young players. If you get to the side of a tank and you're stuck into a building, stop driving, just sit forward. Same if they're on the edge of you can either drive directly straight forward or stop still. Either one will work, but do not keep turning and wiggling and jiggling, or you'll give them a chance to slip out. 54 lightweight has better top end speed, better ground terrain resistance stats, and basically better mobility than the 1390. And I don't know why. It's got armor. It's just literally got armor, thicker armor, and it's better shaped so it gets bounces. I mean, so we judge the French lights very harshly versus a lot of these other tanks. And it's not really fair. A lot of these, it's almost like Wargaming learnt its lesson with things like the Defender and the 54 Mod 1 and the T-54 Lightweight and the LTTB. And they've been nerfing those kind of tanks ever since. And so now when a tank gets introduced, we're still hyped up about it. We're still excited because we think this new line is going to have all these bells and whistles. And they go and balance it so that it's not overpowered. They make sure of that. And we all hate them for it. Like the French TDs. Everyone hates the fact. I mean, have a look at my team here. Oh my God. Seriously. But it's all right because I'm in a 54 lightweight. So I'll be able to angle up and do all kinds of nasty things and move backwards and forwards and treat it like I'm a hardcore medium tank with armor and a 100mm gun. Like the French TDs don't have autoloaders. And we're disgusted by this because they are the unique selling point of the tank. And I'll grant you, I think they should have autoloaders because it would be more interesting. But balancing autoloaders on a TD is a nightmare. Like, how do you balance it so that they're at all... Like a 120mm autoloading gun on a TD with good penetration numbers and that kind of DPM that they'd have to stay in line with the rest of their TD brethren is just insane. And a 150mm autoloader, like... If anyone hasn't seen Circonflex's HE spamming like 10 zillion damage in the Foch 155 on PC, go and watch it and you will know exactly why the Blitz Foch does not have an autoloader. Putting those kind of tanks with that kind of power in this game is really, really tough to balance. Have a look at the Death Star. I mean, tell me that thing doesn't like just bend the gameplay around it at tier 10. So we get upset because they release these tanks and they're actually thoughtfully balanced, where they are not going to overpower the competition and they're not going to win everything. And then we get upset when they release tanks like the 54 Mod 1 or the T-54 Lightweight, which are just incredibly overpowered and shouldn't really have all the stuff they have. Like, they have mobility and they have armor. If you've got mobility and armor, well, what's your down point? Where's the negatives? And Wargaming has literally been nerfing for so long to deal with the power creep that they created right from the start. They've nerfed premium ammunition. They've nerfed Russian armor and all this. And look, I know that the T-62A exists and that the T-62A's new gun is mind-blowing and mind-boggling. But you know what? They buff based on stats. So I'll guarantee you that the majority of the player base has got the 62A because it's probably the most owned medium in the game, and that they suck in it. And because they suck in it, Wargaming is trying to bring things up for the rest of the player base. And that means that anyone that's a good player gets to take that tank and absolutely wreck people in it. So it bears thinking about this whole concept that we loathe a tank line that's too strong, and we loathe a tank line that's not strong enough. And I find that nuance very, very, very interesting. And it's one of the things that I like talking about. So if you like talking about that kind of thing, why not pop along to the Sunday NA time tactics stream? And we can talk about that, maps, everything else you like to think of under the sun. And rest assured, guys, I know I've been really, really lazy with the French TDs. I will go and review them. Positive waves, you clown. I give you my word. I will get this thing. I will get the French TDs reviewed. So help me if it's the last thing I do. And you know what? I'll probably find some tanks in there that I really, really enjoy playing. And I might well change my mind. A lot like the some of the tanks that I've discovered in the past, like the Carnarvon. I really wasn't expecting to love that as much as I love it. Like the Electric Biscuit, the AMX ELC BIS, all those tanks. There's probably a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Until next time, boys and girls, look after yourselves. I hope you didn't mind me rambling too much. I needed a download. Look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield.